Hi, students. How are you doing? Welcome to Nine Sim. Thank you so much for the support. So I came across a video where Governor Shapiro was talking about what happened to the healthcare insurance company CEO, right? And how he was unalive. And he talked about how the person that did that thing is not a hero, right? That then he talked about in America, that America, like, people do not unalive people in cold blood to probably express their viewpoint or or to resolve a problem, right? Now, I am going to say this. He knows very well that he is lying, right? Because people that look like me already passed through this way. And it did not make headlines, or it did make headline, and at the same time, they did not care about it, or before we could say jack. I mean, it was dismissed. Why? Because some people are privileged and are immune, right? Sonia Massey is number one. I remember what happened to Nedley. Nedley was, he is a dancer, right? Having a he was having a meltdown on the subway in New York, and somebody held him, and that was the end of it, right? And he did not get justice. And I remember Rashidi Carter, that his body was disembarked in different places. He did not get justice. So this is actually the history. You are lying. Let's get into this video.
If this guy turned out to be black or brown, the NYPD and the media would have all been calling him a terrorist by now. But because of the fact that he's white and comes from an upper middle class background, he was the valedictorian of his private high school, he went to an Ivy League school, and he's also Republican leaning based off of his Twitter profile, the media and all these political pundits have no idea what to make of it. And this is not a business as usual type of crime where you have conservatives calling for law and order. There is bipartisan, universal support for this guy's actions. The day that it happened on Facebook, you had 90,000 people reacting to it with laughing, crying emojis. Like, that's not Gen Z. That's Gen X and baby boomers. That's our parents and our neighbors and our teachers. Ben Shapiro uploaded a video of him talking about it on YouTube, and his own comment section, his own subscribers were all defending the shooter. Regardless of him getting caught, this is such a pivotal moment in developing class consciousness in America because of the sheer volume of people that are rallying in support of this guy's actions, because they understand the symbolism behind it and they can sympathize with the grievances that pushed him to do this.
In America, we do not kill people in cold blood to resolve policy differences or express a viewpoint. I understand people have real frustration with our healthcare system, and I have worked to address that throughout my career. But I have no tolerance, nor should anyone, for one man using an illegal ghost gun to murder someone because he thinks his opinion matters most. In a civil society, we are all less safe when ideologues engage in vigilante justice. In some dark corners, this killer is being hailed as a hero. Hear me on this. He is no hero. The real hero in this story is the person who called 911 at McDonald's this morning. The real heroes every day in our society are the women and men who put on uniforms like these and go out in our communities to keep us safe. This killer was not a hero. He should not be hailed. In a civil society, we are all less safe.
Funny how it's not civil to choose who lives and dies when the choice is taken away from you. But the CEOs of these private health insurance companies, these lobbyists for private insurance and pharma, are making choices about who lives and dies every single day. They don't like it when we are making the choices, is what it is. In this pro-birth country, they will take away our choice to whether we want to give birth or not, force us to give birth to babies who have got catastrophic illnesses born with them. And when these doctors and nurses rush into these rooms to tell these moms with no choices what they've already known, which is your child is extremely sick. This is a long haul, and this baby likely won't leave the hospital. We're going to help you fill out these papers from Medicare and Medicaid, because that private insurance that you're paying for is being taken out of your check every week. They're not going to cover this. They're not going to cover the life we forced you to give birth to. These choices that these extremely wealthy people are making for our lives are fine. But when we start choosing, we're uncivil. Eat the fucking rich. There's a lot more on the table.
In America, we do not kill people in cold blood to resolve policy differences or express a viewpoint.
Stop it. Get some help.
You a goddamn funky, sour face ass lie. I swear y'all white folks just get on camera and lie your face off. It don't make no sense. America has not changed one bit. And they do it right in front of y'all face. He just got on camera and said, America don't kill out of cold blood. Now explain to me exactly how America even came into power in the first place. Explain to me how America even maintains its power today. It kills out of cold blood. It assassinates. It blackballs. It redlines. It does all the most heinous, monstrous, horrific crimes against humanity ever known to man. It destabilizes entire nations. These people get on camera and just lie to y'all. This is how they get y'all. They get on camera and they, oh my God, America, we're so great. America would never. America, we don't do this. America doesn't. Shut up. America been doing everything y'all claim America ain't never did since the beginning of America. Then he say America don't kill out of cold blood to resolve different political viewpoints. That's a bold-faced lie right there. If America ain't did nothing else, America done unalived out of cold blood because of different political viewpoints. They have unalived out of cold blood because different racial viewpoints, different economic viewpoints, different mental viewpoints, different social viewpoints, different emotional viewpoints, different every viewpoint. Boy, I tell y'all, man, we gotta wise up as people. We have to wake up. Because I know y'all done got comfortable with a certain level of the illusion of freedom. You done got comfortable with a certain level of convenience that has been provided to you. They're only allowing y'all to have a certain level of convenience and the illusion of freedom to keep your mind enslaved while they do the most heinous, crazy, monstrous, pedophilic, horrific things you can ever imagine people doing. I predict that as time goes on, what you gonna all find out is a lot of the things, child trafficking, human trafficking in general, a lot of the things that we see happening, a lot of the things that they claim to be so against, they're actually profiting off of, and they're actually a part of, and they're in business doing.
In America, we do not kill people in cold blood.
You know what I find so amusing or sad about what you just said? We don't kill people in cold blood. No, we just kill them by denying them health care coverage. Let me make something abundantly clear, something that I continue to have to keep saying over and over. A lot of you are missing the point as to why people are indifferent about the death of this man. It's quite simple. Because everybody has a medical horror story involving insurance companies. Everyone. Republicans, Democrats, blue states, red states. Everybody has a horror story about being denied coverage. Oh, that's right. The only people that don't are rich. What y'all want is for us to feel like our humanity is lost because this man was gunned down. Where is that humanity by the people who deny people health coverage to the people that die because of it? No, we don't kill people in cold blood. No, we kill them with paperwork. We kill them with bureaucracy. We kill them with denial. Everybody wants to remember that this man had a wife and kids. How many wives and kids and husbands and grandmothers and grandfathers and aunts and uncles and lovers and friends and cousins and co-workers has this man sent to their deaths? This is my problem. Nobody is cheering. You understand that? Nobody is cheering. There's not one person that is cheering for the death of this man. What they are cheering is the fact that this CEO finally felt what it's like to be an American who cannot afford health care. For the first time and the last time in his entire life, he now understands what it feels like to not be cared for. He now knows what it feels like to have all the money in the world and not be able to save yourself. Now take away the money aspect of it, and now you understand the desperation of the American people when it comes to our piss poor, for-profit health insurance scam. We are the only industrialized nation that does not have universal health care. Now, why do you think that is? Whose fault do you think that is? It is men like this guy. Nobody is celebrating the fact that this CEO is dead. We're simply saying karma comes for us all. And people die every day, B. You'll be all right. Your money, you got money, right? This is what I find so disgusting about this conversation. How many people want to shame poor people who have continue to have the boot, the whole boot, not just part of it, the entire boot of the for-profit healthcare system on their throat, but they're mad because for the one time these people are not celebrating, they're simply not showing any sort of remorse whatsoever. Ain't nobody cheering for that man being dead. No one. But we noticed the manhunt and the $60,000 reward for any information leading to the arrest of the man that took this rich man's life. Missing and murdered indigenous women. They never get that. They don't. Black missing girls, they don't get that. They don't. But I'm not even going to go there with the overwhelming response to what happens when a rich man dies as opposed to the rest of us. I'm simply focusing on the fact that this man, the one who died, is responsible for the deaths of thousands of people every single year for a profit margin. How many years did he stay in that job? How many people were denied coverage that could have saved their fucking life? How many? But you want us to have all the strum and drang because he got killed? Let's say the shoe was on the other foot. And let's say this man had to kill this other person. The CEO had to kill someone. Would there be a $60,000 manhunt for the person's killer? No. Would we give a shit about his manifesto? No, we wouldn't. We wouldn't care. We wouldn't want to hear his health care story. All we know is that a rich man killed a poor man. That's it. That is it. And that's all the media would focus on in the first place. They would give all this glowing testimonial about Brian Thompson or whatever his damn name is, the CEO of United Healthcare who had to gun a man down. It would be nothing about the person that he killed. Nothing. And that's my problem. That's what a lot of people's problem is. Nobody is cheering the death of this CEO. What we are saying is this. He got a taste. And I'm sorry, it was the last taste he'll ever get. You can say I'm being unsympathetic, but I don't care. It's the last taste, but he finally got a taste of what it feels like when people deny you coverage and you end up dying anyway. We don't kill people in cold blood, no. But if you do a bunch of them, deny them all coverage, and watch them die, and you can make a profit off of it, that's capitalism. That's American healthcare, isn't it?
In America, we do not kill people in cold blood.
History is a true crime story. 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 Let's talk about it. Hi, my name is Madison, the creator behind the Madison channel. I have a podcast called Bloodstain where I talk about history through the lens of true crime. Season 1 is all about slavery. Season 2 is about genocide. And you do not know how I feel right now. I'm practically vibrating. Let's get into it. The past 2 years now I've come on this app talking about true crime. Whether you got that from my content or you didn't, it's always true crime over here. Always has been, always will be. Whether I was centering my conversations on BIPOC true crime stories only to combat missing white woman syndrome and how it's leaked into all your brains in a white supremacist society, or I was trying to widen what a true crime story was by talking about historical happenings through the lens of true crime. Because to me, history is one of the most gruesome true crime stories ever told. Lots of needless but intentional death. And we need to talk about it in this moment right here. Because I am hearing a lot of revolutionaries speak. And I talked about this a couple days ago when everyone was talking about the French Revolution and I was bringing up the Haitian Revolution because she's that bitch. The baddest revolution on the flow is a Haitian Revolution. I'm so sorry. You can call me biased, but get into her. And I think in the wake of what we're living through as we're watching Luigi go into custody, every time he seems to appear in front of a camera, there's something new to talk about. I mean, I haven't even gotten to making a video about the YouTube videos and the YouTube channel. What's happening on December 11th, y'all? I'm nervous. Like, we haven't even gotten into some things about this case in a couple days. And I'm excited in my speak because I feel super vindicated. Like, if I wanted to go into debt even further, not medical school debt, grad school debt, I would be having my thesis be this shit that I'm just talking to you guys for practically free. The stuff that I put into my podcast, the stuff that I talk about, the way I want to teach y'all, the way I want to talk to y'all, the way I want to have conversations with y'all about what's going on in society, this all would be a thesis if I wanted to do the black woman thing and go back to school in trying times, child. State-sanctioned violence is so silly because it lives in hypocrisy, kind of like slavery. Link in the bio for the podcast, link in the bio for everything. Follow me, start trickling over because we don't know. We got 40 days here. Trickle over, boo. Like, for example, let's talk about slavery, right? Because that's what season 1 of the podcast is about. There are so many hypocrisies in the rules of slavery, in what is considered, normal ways of being in slavery, the laws around slavery. Like, how am I dirtier than an animal, but you're trying to get me pregnant? How am I the stupidest, dumbest person on the planet? Not even a person, actually, but I'm raising your children and have been. You guys just started raising your own kids. Okay? How am I disgusting and I can't use the same bathroom as you, but your baby's on my boob sucking my milk? It's not making sense. Like, none of it has ever added up. And that's, I think, the most infuriating thing about being marginalized. Because it's so obvious. As soon as you wake up, it's so obvious. None of it has made sense. None of it has made sense. None of what they've told you has made sense. None of what they've taught you has made sense. And it's time for you guys to stop saying that quietly in your mind. Like, that doesn't really add up. And actually say it louder and collectively. It's time for the doubts to become a choir. It's time for us to really start bridging these gaps about how similar we are. And why they don't want us to know that so bad. What's up with that? We are watching people condemn Luigi, okay, who had a targeted individual that he was going after for very distinctive purposes. He can make a compelling case, and I want to see this play out in trial because that would confirm my suspicions that systematic death and systematic state-sanctioned violence is true crime because it's targeted and it's deliberate. You know what I mean? Have Laura Ingraham condemning him in 1 second, and then the next second praising this white freak who choked out a black guy for no reason on the subway? These are the 2 news stories that are happening in New York right now. Does that make any sense to you? And they will look you in the eye and try and rationalize how that makes sense. 2 opposed things are supposed to make sense. Don't get me started on the Israel-Ukraine conversation and how those 2 opposing things make 0 sense. It doesn't make sense. And they don't want you to know that it doesn't make sense. And baby, let me hold your hand when I'm telling you this. It never made sense. It never was supposed to make sense because what they wanted was for you to work your ass off until you died and siphon all that money off of you so you'd be too distracted to even notice that what they're saying isn't even consistent. I always come back to this because it's always relevant. I just can't not talk about it. I've been tracking the downfall of my one nemesis, which is Ethan Klein from the H3 podcast. He knows why. Maybe he doesn't. It's one-sided. And every time I bring up that conversation, I talk about where I kind of fell off. And it's when I called into the H3 podcast and talked about the Will Smith slap, right? The slap heard around the world. And I've talked about this on my page a ton. I also have a YouTube video on it. Go check that out. It's old and crunchy. But if you want to see the breakdown of my beef with Ethan Klein, more information is in the link in the bio, ciao. All the fake outrage about that slap, right? And it's micro. Like, there's a micro and the macro. I'm so excited to talk about this. I could talk about this with you for hours. It's a micro and the macro. And when you study sociology, you learn to hold both at the same time and look through both at all times, right? Will Smith slap is Luigi CEO tap. Okay? Because, and it's being discussed in the same way. You know what I mean? And so when people, oh God, I'm just going to leave that alone. The way white Hollywood was outraged, right? And this is after Me Too. This is after some of the most heinous things. We're having a Diddy trial right now. The entertainment industry is a cesspool of violence and control. And you guys are going to condemn a man getting on stage and slapping the person who made the joke because you tried it with me first. Who drew first blood? The fact that you're denying claims and killing people? Or the fact that this guy pulled a trigger to a seemingly innocent person? We need to bring back shame. These careers are violent. These people are doing violence. This is violent. They're killing massive amounts of people. More bodies stacked up than the most prolific serial killer in history. And they're just walking among us like it's normal. And they're trying to make you feel like that's normal. It's not normal. This is a hypocrisy of this bullshit, right? When the Will Smith slap happened, all of Hollywood wanted us to be extremely outraged and scared and stressed. Comedians, freedom of speech is at risk. That's what some people were saying. And I always bring this up. Alec Baldwin, who actually unalived someone with a gun that same year, said he was scared and it was the most violent thing he's ever experienced. He unalived someone. Okay? They wanted us to freak out about that, but they have been so silent, not only silent, but aggressive against anyone who'd bring up the genocide in Gaza. They don't give a damn. They don't give a damn. And they think that's not violent. History is a true crime story. Come on, just say it with me. History is a true crime story. Link in the bio.
Oh, you're serious? I thought that was a joke. Stop fucking lying.
This is all I got from this video. And this man absolutely know that he is lying, and he lied, right? Now, who am I going to start with? Am I going to start with Sonia Massey? Am I going to start with Rashidi Carter? Am I going to start with, what's his name? Nedley? This young man, a dancer in New York, was on the train, on the subway, right? That the man that did it, now everybody is hailing the man for being a hero. And the one that Pe0ple somebody also, everybody is hailing him for also being a great person for what he did. Why? Because you all already know how insurance companies and all that. But the little young man, the young man that had a meltdown on the subway was put on, and that was the end of him. And they want to come out here to tell us that you all are not. That's not true. You all know what you know how to do best. And that is what you know how to do best. You know, each time that story comes up on my timeline, on my FYP, and the best thing I say is that I am really grateful that this story is not connected to someone that look like me, because I don't know what the story will look like. It definitely will be a horror. Like, it definitely will be something that I don't know how to say it, but it is them. And the way the story is also being handled is in kind of very subtle. And, you know, because when you look at the guy's profile, I mean, he went to a great school, finished in great school, came out and also a Republican, right? So it is, and nobody is saying anything about crime. If it's where it would have been crime, right? But it is what it is. But all I want to tell this man that stood up to talk about that nobody, you all, this is what you people know how to do. Sonia Massey was in her house, you know, called for help, and that was the end of her. The other young man, Nedley, was having a meltdown on the train, and that was the end of him. And Rashidi Carter, these are the ones that I can remember, like, you know, that are like in my eyes, was just, what happened? Okay, he went out with his friends, and they saw him in the woods, with everything, like all his body in different places, you know. So what was that? You all already know your history. Your history is like, based on that. So if you all do not do that, then how did your history start? I mean, this is like the foundation of your history. I'm not making all this up. This is like the foundation of their history. And you all, for those that know history, will definitely understand that that is actually their history. And you all do this on a daily basis to also people that look like me. So saying that you all do not do that is a lie, right? That is what you know how to do best. And I am so grateful that this young man, I am not like, I don't know how to say, but I'm grateful that he got nothing to do with people that look like me. But everybody's actually praising him, including people that look like me. Why? Because they feel like he did what a lot of people have been planning to, You all know how bad healthcare system is and how insurance company also rip people off, capitalism and all that. I mean, people pay for insurance, but they don't get the services they pay because some people are just very greedy. And a lot of parents also, a lot of people have lost their loved ones through that. So everybody's anger is justifiable, right? I understand people's anger, right? But then sometimes when we see some certain things happen, you sit back. When you sit back, then you cannot compare some certain things that happen to people that look like me. How was it handled? What did they say about it? How did it happen? So there are some things that when I say it and I try to compare, no matter how people try to praise it, no matter how happy everybody is, it's only some people that get away with some certain things. That's why someone with 34 felonies also got away with something. And this one also may end up not even facing the real charges that he is supposed to face and all of that. Why? Because some people are privileged to some certain things. Let's not hide that. I've been trying to be really subtle with it. But no, I think I'm already provoked, right? But yeah, it is what it is. Some people will still get away with some certain things. But we do not have that privilege and we do not have that grace, right? Because check around all the people that we can remember so far, what happened to them and how it happened. All of them. Man, I cannot say much. See you all in my next video. Bye for now.